In this lesson, we're going to look at a couple of modeling techniques that help me model the sling chair for the scene. This is the sling chair. This lesson is all about how we put these holes in correctly and how we make nice smooth models with square edges, but still have perfectly circular holes in them. What we've done to begin with was look at the reference images for the sling chair, and then searched on Google for sling chair to get some material references, to get some dimensions and some proportions. These were all very, very helpful images. And from there, in 3ds Max, I created a box that had the general dimensions, and then in the front view I just drew a few splines as helpers, and that's given me the general layout of a armed sling chair. So we'll unisolate this, and what I've done in preparation is create two boxes just to give you an example of how we create the holes. And what I've done is drawn a box for the arm and a box for one of the legs. We'll move that into the correct place. What we'll do is show you how to put holes through both of them that match. So for this one, I've got an edit poly. I've created it, I believe it was 40mm wide, 20mm thick, and this is 30mm wide, 20mm thick that way. And let's have a look at the reference quickly. So this upright just lifts above the arm. So we'll correct it position wise where it needs to be. This just lifts. Actually we'll just do it by edge. So we can, but if you put edge toggle on, it means you can move stuff and it be constrained correctly without having to mess your model up. So we'll have it so it just clips over the edge like that. For the arm, I've stuck two edges on, done a couple of edge loops along the central part and along here to create a nice rounded edge, which is what we're looking for. And we'll do a similar thing to this once we put the hole in. So we'll go into the front view, we'll turn the turbo smooths off, we'll isolate these two pieces of wood, and the first thing I need to do is find out where to put my hole to make it central. So I'll connect this and I'll slide it along, and we'll keep edge constraint on, and we'll put it somewhere like that. And for this one, I'll ring through these edges around the outside and connect it once through the middle, and then we can see that we're somewhere near. So if we loop that, should be able to snap to that central point, and now we know we have our center lines correct. Just from looking and double checking sizes, I'm going to make our holes 15mm. So I'm going to create a circle spline with a 7.5mm radius. That gives us a 15mm diameter, and I'm going to snap it to that central piece there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a loop around this edge. I'm going to chamfer it by 15, and then I'm going to connect down the center again. Just one straight down the middle, and then one straight down the middle here. Now the reason I've chamfered it by 15 is because I know that this is 30mm thick or 30mm wide, and I need to create a perfect square to be able to create a perfect hole in a smoothed object. So now what we'll do is, if we isolate this single piece, and I'll show you in 3D what we've done. You see the four squares? And that's because it's 30 wide. We've split it in two and made 15 squares each, or 4 squares of 15mm each. And then we need to connect through these holes. So we can select the 3 verts, hit connect, 3 verts, hit connect. And just for tidy's sake, I'll do it on the back edge. In fact, I need to do it on the back edge because the hole needs to go all the way through. We're not creating a cylinder out of it yet, we're creating a hole through it. So I'll connect these, and then in the front view we can unisolate again. We'll see our circle, and I can chamfer this central edge by 15. Oh, that's too much, sorry, I mean 7.5, and that'll give us our 15mm hole that we were looking for. So now I can select these edges around the outside and connect them, and we'll push them all the way in and then drag them out by a very small amount. That just gives us a little bit of an inset to keep the corner sharp. We'll put it on 99, and then we can isolate this, make it visible, and then we can select these two central octagons, and we can just press bridge, and that'll create a hole straight through. And then to keep the nice sharp edges, we'll select one of these inside edges, ring, connect, hit it twice, and we'll just bring those out to here like that. Now magically, if I turbo smooth this, fingers crossed, it should create a perfectly smooth hole in the center of our rectangular model. Ta-da! So what we need to do for the rest of it, we can delete the turbo smooth and we'll collapse it to an editable poly, which means we're able to work with our guides on, with our cage. We'll just, as we normally do, we can just connect through here. And we can slide that down to the bottom. Like that, will just sharpen that edge off. We can do the same thing at the top with a few ring and connects, just to sharpen that edge off. And we'll do it through the central here with 2. And that should just tighten everything up. And then when we turbo smooth that, we should get a nice smooth leg. And that's what we're looking for. So if we unisolate it, and then pick these two again, you can see this strange geometry while it's turbo smoothing. That will actually affect textures if you leave it like that. So you don't have enough edge loops. So I find the best thing to do is just add some more geometry and add a little bit more in here closer to the hole, because that'll stop any pinching of textures. But for now we'll look at this one. So we're in the front view. We will unturbo smooth this on our editable poly. Oh, actually, I'll select both of these, unhide it, and select our circular spline again, so we can use that to connect. And we'll connect somewhere along here, and we'll snap it to the center of that circular spline as before, and we'll chamfer this. Now this isn't quite the same as before, because it's not square. This isn't 30, so we need to do it by 10. Oh, I'll have to cancel that. I have no idea what just happened there. We'll chamfer that by 10 because we know it's 20. And then this is one that we have to do by hand and not necessarily by an exact figure. Oh no, we should be able to do it by an exact figure on this one too. Sometimes I just grab it and just chamfer it like that. But we need to connect these edges first, or connect these vertices first as before. So we'll pick these three, connect. We'll just isolate it and do the same thing on the other side. Connect. And then in the front view, we'll be able to pick both of these verts and then chamfer it by 7.5. Do the same thing again. Pick all these edges, connect it once, and drag it into the center and just pull it out just by the tiniest amount to keep that nice sharp edge. And the same thing again with the end polygons. Select them both, bridge, ring, connect by 2. Pull those out just to tighten the edges up, and this should give us a nice smooth hole through the center of our other piece of geometry. And now when we line them both up together, we should have a hole going through the center of both. Now this works the same way with anything sticking out, as you can see with this. So rather than bridging this polygon that we create through to create a hole, we just extrude it and put a few edge loops in, and it creates a perfectly smooth cylinder coming out of a square edged piece of geometry. So we can use those same techniques to model the rest of this. These are just simple poly modeling, vert moving techniques just to create nice smooth circular cutouts for this to rest in. And the screw is just a basic poly modeling technique which we'll show in the next lesson.